Pierre Poilievre shuts down Justin Trudeau as he has another unfiltered rant about false claims that Pierre has made. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Pierre Poilievre... Look at this. I can't even start a video properly. Pierre Poilievre has been on fire lately when it comes to his return to the House of Commons following their very long and extensive winter break. Of course, Justin Trudeau being very selective about the days that he's appearing in the House of Commons. And of course, the discussion of the good old carbon tax and the cost of farms being able to operate, as well as affecting the price of groceries, came up as it's a normal topic in the House of Commons. And we're going to get to that right away. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, Straight Goods Clothing. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Straight Goods Clothing. Born from a former police officer of 17 years that left his post due to corruption and political cowardice, Straight Goods has gone on to rally thousands across North America in taking a stand against corruption. This clothing is made by high quality standards and 100% cotton to ensure absolute satisfaction with your purchase. This Canadian-run company also donates 10% of all profits to help and assist with veterans, and that is why Unacceptable Fringe has locked arms to bring our very own line from the company as well. By purchasing, you're not only supporting a local business, but also helping to assist our veterans. Remember, staying silent and doing nothing only allows for the chaos in this country to continue. By putting on something that's bold and peaceful to make a statement is the only way that we can stand up, and what better way to say it than by donning some straight goods, link below in the description. Now, I might remind everybody I'm wearing my straight goods as I film this video, and I can tell you, after getting my samples in the mail, they're of the highest quality, they're fantastic clothes. I'm very happy with my purchase, and I would highly encourage you guys to head over and grab yours. The link will be, again, in the description. Now, when it comes to the House of Commons, Pierre Poilievre, again, the discussion came up that I want to touch on a few things of this video because there's some important issues at heart here. We're not talking about heat pumps anymore. We're talking about natural gas and the benefits of natural gas and how citizens are punished for it. And I wanted to get into this latest back and forth. Of course, Pierre Poilievre already done the hard work for us to get the clips in place, but let's take a listen to what went on about a local mushroom farm in Ontario that Pierre has had a working relationship with.
Well, let me start with yesterday's debate with the Prime Minister. I highlighted once again the Medeiros family farm. They produce mushrooms for all of the city of Ottawa, but have been facing tens of thousands of dollars in monthly carbon tax bills alone. Now, the Prime Minister claimed that I had told the farm to stand on its own 2 feet.
It's interesting that the Conservative leader is asking the government to help out the Medeiros family farm now, because back in 2014, when the Medeiros fan came to him in government, asked him for some support as they were trying to make investments, trying to continue to move forward, he told them that they needed to stand on their own 2 feet. That's what he told that farm.
When it was trying to bring natural gas to its farm, and I couldn't possibly understand what he was referring to, because of course I'd helped the farm. I dug up the quote and I said in response to high energy prices that the goal is to find a commercially viable way that this kind of project, natural gas for farms, can stand on its own 2 feet, pay for itself, and create some jobs.
They're Pierre delivering receipts, which I really love. Because again, Justin Trudeau trying to make things, they always see this when they talk about Stephen Harper. Anytime the Liberals are pinned into a corner, they mention Stephen Harper, and it's all, oh, this is Harper's fault. It was all Harper back in the day. And now, of course, he says, oh, Pierre wanted to throw these guys under the bus. And what essentially he was talking about, and we're going to get into with this video clip, is bringing natural gas and a project of natural gas to the farm in order to help them be more efficient while heating their home in a safe and natural way. Natural gas, if you're unaware, especially liquid natural gas, is one of the safest ways to generate and transport heat fuel for people's homes. We're not talking about heat pumps anymore and diesel fuel that freeze after -20. We're not talking about oil being transferred by a rail car and how much it's more dangerous than transferring via a pipeline. This is the safest, cleanest way to produce energy in the country. And naturally, Justin Trudeau should be using the West's refined resources and ability to provide these services to the best of its ability in order to have a prosperous country. But of course, they don't want to do that. They want to convince you to go spend a bunch of money buying multiple heat pumps and installing them in your homes because, well, they just want you to go electric. They want you to find ways to get around this terrible global boiling that's happening that really isn't happening. Well, let's continue with the video.
Now, from that moment, I went to Enbridge, which, being a large multinational pipeline company, it'd been hard for an individual farmer to get on the phone. I got the executives on the phone. I told them why this pipeline was needed to take gas to the mushroom farm in order to generate the steam and the other power that's needed to produce mushrooms. And ultimately, the project got done without any tax dollars and paid for itself because natural gas is significantly cheaper and less polluting than propane and oil.
Our farm was wasting a fortune on costly propane. Pierre helped get the energy company to hook us up to affordable energy, saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire workers and grow more fresh local food.
This is an example of how we can do great things for our farm families without costing money to Canadian taxpayers and without creating new federal bureaucracy.
Again, when he's talking about getting people on their own 2 feet, this is what he means. It's kind of almost like a cooperative in the sense that it's creating jobs, it's bringing new, more energy efficient ways and less costly ways to the producers. These are things that would actually reduce the cost of what you're paying for at the grocery store rather than things like a carbon tax, because if the farmers don't have to pay as much for heat, they don't have to pay as much to run their business, then ultimately they can sell their products at a reasonable profit, and that reasonable profit can be reflected on the cost of goods at the store after logistics. Justin Trudeau's ways of thinking is completely backwards, but of course, Pierre just shuts him down here, and well, we'll let him wrap this up, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Now, the Prime Minister's comments, though, do speak to his patronizing view of all Canadians. He believes that Canadians can never stand on their own 2 feet. Well, in fact, the only reason Canadians are struggling to do that is because he is on their back, right? It's like the Canadian people are carrying a backpack and he comes along and says, "Can I help you with that? It looks heavy." He puts the backpack on his shoulders and then he piggybacks on the Canadian who was carrying it in the first place. And now they're carrying not only the bag, but they're carrying him. And in this case, the analogy refers to his carbon tax. That same family farm, which was thriving through intelligent investments, including in natural gas, which he and his radical environment minister want to eliminate. We're thriving and employing dozens of people in our community. Now, they are paying carbon taxes of $10,000, $20,000 per month, an amount that the Prime Minister wants to quadruple to 61 cents a litre and an equivalent charge on natural gas. On April 1st, the Prime Minister, with the full support of the NDP, intends to raise the carbon tax by 23%. We are the best. Our workers are the best. Our inventors are the best. Our businesses are the best. If we could get the government out of the way, then we could have the best. We will have that, and we will do it not because of big, powerful government dictating from on high. We will do it by the great Canadian people standing on their own 2 feet, the common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Your home, my home, our home.
Again, Pierre coming forward to explain why axing the tax is so detrimental for Canadians. A 23% raise. Now, as an Albertan and somebody who uses natural gas to heat their home, I can tell you right now, about a quarter of the bill that I pay every month for my utilities is carbon tax. Now, I've done streams in the past where I've shown those bills, and I've shown, here's what goes to carbon tax. Then there's delivery charges, there's administration charges, there's charges for charges, there's all these things worked into the bills in order to make you poor, essentially, when in fact, the average bill, like again, I don't like to put money out there, but my average utility bill in a month usually hits somewhere between $500 to $600 a month when you include water, heat, and electricity. Now, 75% of that is fees and taxes. The usage that I have every month when it's heat, water, and electricity is only about $200 out of that $500 to $600 bill, um, resulting in bureaucracy. This is why it's so important to back these politicians that want to remove the tax. I know I've been skeptical in the past to say if he's going to axe the tax, if he's going to pass it on in another way. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I am totally open to understanding that there's a strong possibility this will be reworked in another manner. I understand how these things work, but I think that for a guy who's pushing this hard and making this one of his main strengths of his campaign, he would be in a heaping world of trouble if he was to be elected prime minister and not do something about this. So I'm not saying it's happening, but it's going to be interesting to see what comes of it, because if polling numbers suggest anything, we all know that Pierre Poilievre is going to be our next prime minister of Canada. And while I support Pierre Poilievre, I will definitely not hesitate to hold his feet to the fire should he go back on his word when it comes time to run this country. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure they're going to be colorful. They usually do tend to be whenever we cover these kind of discussions on the channel. If it's your first time here, please make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications, because our streams have moved. That's right, they're no longer Sunday nights. We're now doing Friday Night Fringe here every week on the channel at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central, where we talk about everything that's happened in the week, and we also talk about everything that's going to be possibly coming up in the next week, and a little bit of back and forth with the community. It's always great to have my community alongside for those streams, because listening to you guys is some of the best entertainment to come out of those streams, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I know I will after listening to Pierre. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.